Hello and welcome to United Report. This is your home for all the latest Manchester United news, match updates, transfer stories, and in-depth analysis. Stay connected and never miss a moment. Subscribe now to stay ahead with everything happening at Old Trafford. Sir Jim Ratcliffe is ready to sell his stake in Nice as his focus continues to centre on Manchester United. The Ineos chief bought into the French club 6 years ago, but there is Saudi Arabian interest. Ratcliffe has become a co-owner at Old Trafford in recent years, but that only added to his football portfolio, having acquired Nice back in 2019 for £89 million. Now, though, the British billionaire is ready to offload the French outfit, who sit 5th in League One. Nice have been competitive in France without claiming any silverware, and Ratcliffe is ready to move them on, reports French outlet L'Informe. The Saudi Public Investment Fund, PIF, who currently own Newcastle, are aware of Ratcliffe's position and are considering an offer. The United co-owner is not universally popular down by the Riviera and previously claimed that whilst Nice have good players, he doesn't enjoy watching the standard of football on show. He said, "I don't particularly like going to see Nice because there are good players, but the level of football isn't high enough for me to get excited." Nice's best season was the one we weren't allowed to get involved in due to timeshare rules. They were so much better without our interference. Maybe there's a lesson to be learned from that. Ratcliffe bought himself a 27.7% stake in the Red Devils, which cost him £1.3 billion in 2023. He's assumed control of the club's footballing operations, but has been unable to lead the club in the right direction, with a number of his decisions proving hugely unpopular. Since taking post at Old Trafford, Ratcliffe has chosen to relieve Sir Alex Ferguson of his paid ambassadorial role and has also hiked up ticket prices, riding of concession and child rates, with protests being held. Several of his major appointments, including Dan Ashworth, have also not worked out. Ratcliffe has only had to make one managerial change, choosing to axe Erik Ten Hag and appoint Ruben Amorim. Thus far, the move has failed to work out, with the new manager taking the club backwards, but the billionaire has insisted that the Portuguese coach will be backed in the summer. He said, "You're a young guy, you've come into the Premier League for the first time in your life, you've come in mid-season, it's not your natural language. You have to give the guy a bit of a break. I mean, give me a hard time, I have no problem with that. But give Ruben a break. I think he's a good guy, he's working hard, and I think he's doing a great job." This summer looks set to be a busy one for Manchester United's recruitment team. Following a miserable season that has left them 14th in the Premier League, a full-scale overhaul is desperately needed. Boss Ruben Amorim is keen to ditch the players who have been seriously underperforming and bring in stars who suit his 3-4-2-1 system. United's precarious financial position may make major business difficult. Sales will certainly be needed to boost Amorim's war chest, and United may find value from targeting younger players rather than top-level stars. Torino goalkeeper Vanja Milinković-Savić has emerged as one potential target. The Serbian has impressed in Serie A this term, and Torino's president has issued an update on United's pursuit. There is, though, bad news in the Red Devils' pursuit of Franco Mastantuono. While United are ready to pay his release clause, the Argentine wonderkid appears to have his heart set on joining Real Madrid. Here, Mirror Football rounds up all the latest Manchester United transfer news. Manchester United have been increasingly linked with Torino keeper Vanja Milinković-Savić as they search for a replacement to Andre Onana. The Serie A side's president Urbano Cairo has now delivered an update on the Serbian's status. He told La Stampa, "He had a great championship, and it is normal that he receives a lot of attention, but no offer has arrived yet. I have learned that setting goals is not a positive thing. It is better to do things with the lights off, with the right grafts, and then in all teams there are replacements of players who are sold and bought. The important thing is to find the right players to strengthen the team." United have emerged as contenders to sign Cameroon starlet Christian Kafani. The 18-year-old has impressed for Spanish Segunda Division side Albacete Balompié over the course of this season. According to Mundo Deportivo, United have now joined the race to sign him along with half of Europe. Newcastle, Aston Villa, Atletico Madrid and Barcelona are all also named as being interested suitors. While his contract still has 6 years to run, his £4.2 million release clause makes him an attractive prospect. Fofana has attracted attention after scoring 5 times over his last 7 matches. United target Franco Mastantuono has snubbed a move to Old Trafford. The 17-year-old has impressed for River Plate, and several sides, including United and Marseille, have sent scouts to watch him. According to Ticey Sports, the Red Devils even made it clear they were willing to pay his £38 million release clause. But the same publication have now claimed that Mastantuono has made it clear he will not be moving to Old Trafford. Instead, his agents are said to have informed United chiefs that their client will only consider leaving River for Real Madrid. It is unclear at this point if Los Blancos even have the Argentine wonder kid on their radar. Football legend David Beckham has built one of the grandest estates the sporting world has ever seen. And as he celebrates his 50th birthday on Friday, both he and wife Victoria sit as arguably the most prolific of power couples in existence right now. From his roots with Ridgeway Rovers, Bex went on to conquer the football world after starring for Manchester United, Real Madrid, PSG, AC Milan and the LA Galaxy. But his on-field earnings only make up a small portion of the fortune amassed by the Beckham brand. His union with Posh gave the couple their entry into the fashion and music scenes, with nary a sector the spouses don't have an interest in at this point. However, Golden Balls maintains a firm foot in the football sphere thanks to his hand in birthing Major League Soccer outfit Inter Miami. That's in addition to the conveyor belt of brand endorsements and staggering sponsorships the Chingford-raised tycoon has signed over his 50 years. Mirror Football breaks down Beckham's empire in finer detail today, marking the maestro's 50th in gilded fashion. Exact valuations of Beckham's personal wealth are somewhat hazy, largely owing to the fact many of his investments today will go unseen by the public eye. Current estimates place the retired star's estate at around £338 million, though the precise figure is likely to be a lot larger, given he reportedly had a similar stockpile back in 2021. In fact, Forbes reported as far back as 2017 that Bex was adjudged to have earned a whopping £600 million in his career up to that point, and there's every chance he has taken that sum past the £1 billion mark in the 8 years since, if that calculation proves accurate. After all, Beckham was paid an almighty $250 million, £188 million in today's money, over the course of his 5 years with the Galaxy. That was easily the most lucrative period of his playing career, though he'll have also had to fork out considerable sums in taxes, agent expenses and other fees along the way. But the bulk of his kingdom today has been built off the pitch, having penned deals with major brands like Emporio Armani, Gillette, PepsiCo, H&M, Breitling and Adidas over the years, to name but a few. And many of those agreements have sprouted his own personal lines, such as Diageo's Hague Club whiskey, which will come with more lucrative cuts of any proceedings. On top of those marketing moves, Beckham has sold his personal image in the media as the subject of documentaries and films. The most recent example of that is his eponymous Beckham Netflix series, which is understood to have netted the modern-day great £28 million in itself. It wasn't long after his retirement in 2013 that Beckham started DB Ventures, which acted as the vehicle for many of his business ventures related to his own image rights. Almost a decade later, he sold the company to Authentic Brands Group for a reported £175 million, the vast majority of which he will have pocketed himself. All that amounts to one enriched symbol, with little by way of competition in the money-making game. Only the elite likes of Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods and Ion Tiriac are estimated to have earned more as athletes, retired or otherwise. On top of David's eye-watering earnings, loyal wife Victoria has by no means been a passenger in adding to the family's fortune. The pair met when Posh was already well established as 1/5 of arguably the biggest band on the planet at the time, though her own contribution is believed to be slightly smaller. Though small isn't a word one would use to describe her percentage of the profit, which is estimated to be upwards of £300 million. Cosmopolitan reported in 2023 that each of the Spice Girls earned around £50 million per year during the 1990s, while their comeback tour in 2008 is said to have added another £50 million to Posh's personal purse. Moreover, Victoria promoted herself from modelling clothes to designing them herself, as well as starting her own line of beauty products. These have not necessarily been a net gain. However, as her eponymous clothing brand has totaled reported debts of £66 million since its launch in 2008. One of Beckham's most inspired business moves, or rather that of his agent, Simon Fuller, was inserting a clause in his LA Galaxy contract that allowed him to start his own MLS franchise in retirement. Some 6 years after calling in quits on the West Coast, Inter Miami was born. The story goes that Becks put in £19.7 million of capital to get the enterprise off the ground, and the Herons officially became an entity in January 2018. 7 years later, the club is estimated to have a valuation of $1.2 billion, $900 million, though Beckham's stake in the club is only 10% or £90 million worth.